Got me gavel.
You're recording.
Thank you, Town Clerk. Welcome everyone to the first planning committee of the new year. I'd say happy new year to you all, and thank you all for coming out tonight and working over the new year on this very long agenda that we have tonight. So thank you for putting the hard work in on the time off. We haven't got any members of the public to talk tonight, so we will move on to item 2, which is going to be apologies for absence, please, Town Clerk.
Apologies for absence from the Deputy Town Mayor and also from Councillor Mrs Mockford, who is unwell.
Okay. Did we get a reason from the Deputy Town Mayor, do you know, for his...
No, he just said he couldn't make it. He didn't. I'm guessing he's working, but I don't.
As he's ex officio, I guess we don't have to accept his apology, do we? Because he doesn't have to come.
No, we can just note him. That's fine. He doesn't have to come anyway.
With Councillor Mockford's, we have to approve her reason. I would propose that we do as she's unwell.
Agreed.
Agreed. Second. Yeah. So we'll approve her reason for not being here. Item number 3 is to receive the minutes held on the 7th of December. This is for accuracy, so I would like to propose those, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor O'Leary. Are there any comments about those minutes at all? In that case, I have a show of hands to adopt them. And obviously, I will go in and sign these when it's safe to do so. God knows when that will be. I have a lot of signing to do. Item number 4 is to receive members' declaration of interest. Anyone that has a pecuniary interest will be returned to the waiting room for the item where they cannot hear or see the deliberations. All 10 East Midlands Town Council applications will not be considered tonight. We'll be discussing those. So, Councillor DeBell.
Yes, I'm a member of the Mid-Sussex Planning Committee and District Planning Committee, and therefore I reserve the right to change my opinion if there's further information presented from you.
I have one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Councillor Osborne.
Yeah, I'd like to. I've got an interest in DM 204098 VOC, which is a planning development, houses behind my house.
Perfect, thank you, Councillor Osborne. Are there any others there, councillors? No. In that case, we'll go on to Chairman's announcements. I'm going to try and keep this moving quite quickly because we do have a lot to get through tonight. First thing I'd like to do is give you an update on the home-based store application, despite representations from ward councillors at town and district level to ask the decision to be brought to MSDC committee. This has been rejected by the cabinet member, and therefore an officer delegated decision will be made, which I think is a great shame. Requests for the conditions to be included regarding the highway implications have also been refused by West Sussex County Council Highways, who keep on saying they have no concerns. I think both of those things are a real shame there. We have referred the plot next to KFC Specsavers back to Mid Sussex District Council following reports of broken hoardings and the state of the site. Mid Sussex District Council can enforce on the tidying up of the site. We have referred the hole in the High Street pavement to Mid Sussex District Council as a conservation area, but there's nothing they can do. It's Highways to push the water board on that. The East Midlands Society have taken advice from this committee regarding the wording of the Michael Lepard plaque and are rewording it to tie in with the High Street placement. Item number 6 is to note the decision for application DM 204084, which is a non-material amendment. This was refused by the District Council. This is for noting committee, as because it was a non-material amendment, it wasn't sent to us, but we should note it.
Noted.
Noted.
Okay. Item number 7 is the budget. To consider and recommend to the Finance and General purposes the draft budget related to the planning expenditure for the 2021-22 committee. Sorry, 2020. Put my words in. 2021-2022 committee are asked to bring their draft budget book for discussions. Hope you all have them. You're looking at the planning lines only. Cost centre 500, and we'll leave the. And has anyone got any changes that they'd like to make? You can raise their hand. If not, I would like to propose these to go to FNGP. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second that, Chair.
Thank you. Was there any discussion, any points that need to be raised at all on that? No. In that case, can I show of hands, send FNGP. I assume Councillor Osborne is sticking his hand up. Thank you. You're having your dinner there, Councillor Osborne.
I was eating a biscuit. Sorry about that.
Okay, so we will move on to item number 8, which are the protected tree applications. The first one on the DM 204306, the Spinney, we have seen before, so we can disregard that and refer to our discussion from the 7th of December. The other two, we normally take these on block with no adverse comments to refer to the tree officer. So I'd like to propose that. Have a second, please.
I'll second that, Chair.
Any comments on either of the applications?
No.
Okay, can I have a show of hands, please? Thank you. Okay, item number 9, the main bulk of the meeting for you. I'm going to share my screen. He says, hopefully, if you can press the right button. Screen, that one, share. Hopefully, you can all see that now.
Great.
Right. Problem with doing dry January, I'm not as sharp as I should be. The first application tonight is DM 204137. We have seen this before, so this exact same application. So we'll refer to our previous comments from the 7th of December on that one because there's no actual change to the application. I think they just sent it to us twice. Happy with that?
Yep.
Hello? Can people hear me again? Or am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen.
Am I unfreezing now?
Did you need a second?
Do we need to actually propose or second that, Town Clerk, or can we?
Because you have the decision already on that one, you can just agree to move on. It's fine. You don't need to propose and second that.
Okay, Councillor de Bell has his hand up.
Yeah, if I might, please, Mr. Chairman. I've had another look at this, and Mr. Mark Leversley, you'll see on the site, has made a complaint of trespass in that we were looking at this as being a continuation of the existing boundary, but in actual fact, Leversley says that this is actually his property that they're looking to build the fence on and taking the trees, and there's already been trespass in terms of going in and chopping trees which don't belong to the people on this. So I'd like that actually mentioned on our recommend to refuse on this one, if we could.
We get those accusations were there when we made the original decision. They're not new accusations, and also matters of ownership don't fall under us. We would just do the permission. If they don't own the land, then they can't build on it. So that isn't a planning consideration, unfortunately.
Okay.
Chairman, also where we are is that you made a decision on this last time, and
Yeah.
Will change to what they've put, which there isn't. There's no change at all. It's exactly the same application. You can't now change that.
No, exactly. And those accusations, what I'm saying, those accusations aren't new.
I understand.
Okay, so we will move on to DM 204295, Mill House, The Feld, East Grinstead. This is replacement of existing conservatory with new playroom. This is down at the bottom of the Feld. One thing I'd like to just just point out to committee is there are considerably less photos in this today, because obviously ones I couldn't get photos for, I can't go and take photos for. So I apologise for the lack of photos.
No problem.
This is an extension to the back. So this is the conversion of the conservatory to a little playroom on the back. I think any of those pictures, yes. So fairly straightforward. Councillor Osborne, this is Imberhorn. Would you like to lead on that one?
Well, it looks like it's nowhere near anybody else from what I could see on the first plan. Where was the? So if there are no objections, then I would recommend approval.
Thank you. I would second that. Any other comments at all?
No, all
No,
covered.
no. Please can I have a show of hands in support, please. Okay, thank you. Having a bit of my computer keeps freezing a little bit, Town Clerk. So if I miss anything, please do tell me.
Will do.
Okay. Let's go on to yes. DM 24330. This is West House, West Lane, proposed porch extension, joinery and internal alterations. So this is it's a very small map, so just bear with me. This is part way down West Lane. It's quite hard to actually see. But this is the existing elevations. Here's the proposed new porch on the front. So this is Herentine. So Councillor Odie, could you start us off, please?
Thanks, Chairman. Yeah, no, I've got no objections to this extension. I recommend approval.
A second for that, please. Councillor Woodgate, thank you. Any comments on that at all? Have a show of hands in support then, please. Thank you. Okay, we go on to DM 24331. This is Felden West Hill. This is conversion of existing single-storey garage into habitable accommodation with front and rear extension and new pitched roof. So this person actually provided photos in it. So here is the property on West Hill. It is right next to the footpath going down to the park. This is the property here. This is the existing elevations. And here are the new proposed elevations. Floor plan here to show where they're going to infill around it. So this is town. So who would like to start me on this one? Councillor Woodgate.
Thank you, Chair. I've had a quick look at this one. I know the area. It's not overlooked by anybody. It's actually going to turn out to be a great use of space by the looks of it. And as of lunchtime today, there was no letters from anybody for or against, but I would like to push for approval on this one, please.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Scott. Any comments on this at all? And I'll show of hands in support then, please, Casey. Thank you. The next one is DM 24334. This is for noting, please, committee.
Noted.
Noted.
This is DM 24346, 24 Farm Close. This is demolition of existing conservatory, proposed single-storey side extension and second-storey rear extension. So this is the property here. And here is the change to the property. As you can see, new extension to the rear. Yeah, only two plans. This is a rare B, so this is a Worsted application. So, Councillor Belsey, please.
A rare beast indeed, Chairman. Thank you. So I know the properties from recollection rather than having gone in the last week, but both the sets of neighbours welcome the fact that the house is to be modernised, and there are no objections per se. Next to the property on one side is actually the path to Farm Close Meadows, so it's quite, it is quite sort of set away from neighbours. But there are some comments just regarding having the extension, which will overlook some of the gardens, as opaque in terms of windows, which is what they've done with the shower room and the bathroom proposed. There is also a dressing room up there, and they have asked as part of the conditions whether the neighbours have asked whether the dressing room might be frosted as well, which to me doesn't seem unreasonable. I know there are lots of comments about sort of working hours and things like that, which I'm sure will be dealt with per the conditions, but I didn't think it was a bad idea to suggest approval subject to the dressing room also being suitably opaque. So I would approve it on that basis, or propose that on that basis.
Thank you. Can I have a second for that, please? Councilwood Gate, thank you. No, I think it's a very sensible comment. I can't see why a dressing room can't be opaque. A bit of privacy while you're getting dressed. Any other comments on that at all? Okay, can I have a show of hands in support with that condition? Thank you. Okay, we're going to go on to DM 20 4347. This is 20 West Hill, East Grinstead. This is a single-storey rear extension to provide staff facilities and a meeting room. So this is the property here, and this is the new extension to the rear. The house is an HMO. I thought I'd just put this in here for the planning statement. It's an HMO for 6 homeless clients. You can already read that there. It is to provide staff facilities at the back of it. I'll bring the plans back up so you can see them side by side. This is town. So, Councillor Scott, would you like to start me off?
Yeah, well, I think those notes you put on the back of this speaks for itself. Actually, they need this building because they are sharing all the facilities. So, based upon that, and it's not obtrusive at all, I'd certainly support this.
Thank you. Can I have a second for that, please?
No.
Thank you, Councillor Gate. Any other comments at all, committee? Now a show of hands in support. Okay, we're going to go to DM 20 4440. This is 7 Southlands. This is proposed single-storey rear extension. There's not a vast amount of plans again on this one. So this is the property here. This is the Meads Primary School. It's just a couple of doors up from the school. This shows the current back of the house, and they're going to be squaring it off effectively. So this extension here is going to get widened out across. This is Herontie. So Councillor Odie, please. You're on mute, sir.
Realise that. Thanks, Chair. Sorry. I don't have any objections to this. I think they're just really making the use of that space at the back there. And yeah, I think it's a nicely designed house as well. So I've got no objections. I recommend approval.
Brilliant. Thank you. Can I have a second for that, please? Councillor Scott, thank you. Can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Town Clerk, did you just message me?
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It's just when I'm on screen sharing, I can't see messages. So, but I heard a noise that sounded like it could have been a message. Okay, so we'll move on to DM 20 4441. This is Hutton House, Hardwoods Lane. This is a single-storey rear extension. There's a theme to tonight's committee, to single-storey rear extensions. So this property down Hardwoods Lane, this pink obviously shows where it was to be. And this shows it's a zoom up on the rear of the property there. So here's the rear elevation, and here's where they want to put the new bit in, tucked in the side there. So again, Councillor Odie.
Thanks, Chair. Again, they're just making use of some available space at the back of the house. So no objections, recommend approval.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please? Councillor Scott. Any comments on this? Have a show of hands in support, please. Thank you. I'm sure I've explained it before, but with my screen being shared here, you're on my second screen over here, so I keep looking at the corner of my eye at you. I'm not just ignoring you, sorry. Next one is DM 204456. This is Parkmore Pine Grove. This is first floor extension to side and front of house. So this is Pine Grove. This is the current property. And this is the proposed changes to that property. I think you can see the front is changed quite extensively. Councillor Osborne, would you like to lead on this, or would you like me to lead on this one?
Well, I can say a few words unless you want to. It's not far from me, actually. It's just around the corner, and
it is.
It's really quite a plain house, and it fronts onto Pine Grove, and that backs onto the garage and the and London Road. So there's nothing in front of it. I just wonder if it's a bit close to the neighbour, and have there been any comments at all?
No comments. No.
No. I've no real objections to this. It seems to me that it could be quite an improvement to the house, actually, because the houses around that area are some of them are quite large houses, so it's not out of character.
Okay, I'll second that. I would agree. I know this house. I know the previous owners of this house, and it's got a very attractive front drive. And actually, the current house itself is quite tired. And I think that the new plans will really up-spec the house, and I think it will look much more attractive and give it a new lease of life. Councillor Scott, did you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, just very quickly. It's something I often come up with. I just think they've improved the appearance of this house with a semi-pitch roof.
There's a 3D render as well. Look at that. Sorry, I forgot about the 3D render.
But I like the semi-pitch roof. It's far better than the total flat roof.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's much more appealing.
Brilliant. Thank you. In that case, no show of hands in support, please. Thank you.
Chair, can I just ask, is Councillor Mrs. Belsey still with us? Just for the minutes, I need to note if she's not here while the decisions are being made, that's all. So I think I need to I don't think she's here, is she?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been voting.
We've lost your camera, Margaret.
Oh. Am I back?
Lovely.
You're back.
Okay, yes, I have been here. I have voted in affirmative on every issue.
No, you really disappeared during that last one. I don't quite know why, but you're back now, so that's lovely.
I haven't been away.
Good, because we need you back for this one. Right. Next one is DM20 1333, an old favourite, land at the junction of Blackwell Farm Road and Holteye Road. This is the construction of the 10 affordable dwellings. I'm not going to read out the full description because it's a small essay. We all know this. We've all seen it lots of times now. Councillor Mrs. Belsey, would you like to please lead me off on this? We all know the plans on this because we've sat on them lots of times now, but if you could lead us off, that'd be great.
I will. Thank you, Chairman. After giving considerable consideration and discussion with officers at MSDC, with our chairman and fellow ward councillor in respect of this application, I propose that we maintain our objection to the proposed development on the following grounds, which are not exhaustive. We do not consider that there is sufficient new data for us to change our maintained objection to the proposed development. There is currently a consultation process in place which does not end until the 18th of January 2020, in which 150 residents living adjacent to the proposed access to the proposed new site have been invited to respond to Mid Sussex District Council with their comments. We suggest that their replies should not be preempted by a decision being made tonight. And most importantly, the traffic survey was carried out in Blackwall Farm Road in November 2020, when the, inverted commas, normal heavy traffic amount of heavy daily traffic that used the road would have been drastically reduced due to COVID-19. Blackwall Farm Road in peak periods is horrendously busy, and any additional traffic created by the proposed new development presents significant health and road safety issues. I therefore propose that we reject this proposal.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that, please? Councillor Bell, thank you. Councillor Scott, you wanted to come in on this?
Yeah, just very quickly, briefly, this has been around for quite a while. This was here the last time I was on the council, actually, so I can actually remember it. I totally agree with Councillor Belsley. Every single thing she said is absolutely true. I've known this bit of land all my life, been brought up around the area. My idea when I was on the council last time was to extend the cemetery into it. That's what I wanted to do. Put a lovely fence around it, extend the cemetery. We are going to have to come out at some given time. We are going to have to find some more land. What's more suitable, as it's right next door to the cemetery itself, just to extend out to it. That's what I proposed. Rather than houses, I would prefer that. And I'm sure so would the residents as well.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Osborne.
Yeah, I very much agree with Margaret Belsey. She's an old-time resident of East Grinstead, as I am, and this is one of the lungs in East Grinstead. The reason I oppose it is on those grounds. It's open ground in the middle of a lot of housing. I'm sure all the other justifications for opposing it are valid, such as traffic, children crossing the road, and all the rest of it going through East Court to Sackville School. It's an open space in the middle of a residential area. Human nature needs these places, and I think it's very bad in Mid Sussex after all these years not to respect that. So I'm not so. Perhaps I'm a bit previous in that, but I know there's probably an inclination on Mid Sussex to pass this eventually. But I do think it's a bad mistake, and it's not what East Grinstead won.
Sorry, Frank, you seem to be breaking up a bit. Has that happened to one? Oh, can anyone hear me?
We can hear you, Chairman. Yeah. You do seem to have internet issues your end of town, though, don't you? Frank's totally frozen.
Okay. I think we got the good gist of what he was saying there, and I think that Councillor Mrs. Belsley is completely correct in what she says, that the traffic survey is being done in another lockdown, not just in COVID times, but another lockdown, and is therefore still, in my opinion, not a valid traffic survey. This needs to be done when the world is turning properly. Councillor Mrs. Belsley, you want to come back one last thing before we take a vote?
Yes, please. Just to add that the application is going to be considered by committee at Mid Sussex District Council on the 21st of January. I just thought that would be, so it is down on that agenda on that evening or afternoon, whatever the time, on the 21st of January.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got a motion to reject. Can we have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Okay, let's move on to DM20 4167. This is Lingfield Lodge. This is a variation of condition. This is variation condition A to the planning application DM17 1521 to allow for the replacement of approved roof plan elevations with revised drawings, indicating a change in the dormers to the northwest wing. Dormers to be reduced from 5 to 3. Plans to be replaced and a long list of different numbers there. So this is Baldwin's. So we don't have anyone from Baldwin's in the room today, do we, Town Clerk? No. Okay, I will take it then. I'm going to be really honest. I looked through these plans extensively, and it's a struggle to notice the differences. It's a change to the roof line, it's a change to the dormers, a reduction and rejigging. The main crux of why they're doing it is because they couldn't actually physically build the plans they originally drew. So I think, therefore, I've got no problem in recommending approval on this, as it's a complicated change, and if they can build it and they can't build the other one, then there's not a lot of options. So I'm going to recommend approval. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
Excellent, thank you. Any comments on that at all? No. No, show of hands in support.
Chairman, Councillor Osborne, thank goodness. So you don't need to just bring up to date on where we finished the last application.
Yes, we did vote to reject it, Councillor Osborne.
Jolly good. I don't know if you heard my wonderful speech, but
We did. It was illuminating.
my internet tends to drop out on these occasions.
I cried.
It's okay. At the end, I thought I've never seen you have such a dramatic silence after a speech.
Yeah, it's very rare to see that.
Okay, so let's go on to DM20 4427. This is 27 Fairlawn Drive. This is demolition of existing attached single garage and construction of 2-storey side extension and single-storey rear extension. So yes, here's the plans basically showing you the size of the new extension. Here are some of the plans here showing the before and after. And again, before and after to the rear. So this is Imberhorn, so I think I will probably do this one as Councillor Osborne did the last one. I quite like this extension. It is quite a large extension, but there's quite a few large extensions there. I think it's quite attractive. I think it makes it into a more usable family home, gets rid of another flat roof. Yeah, I've got no problem really with this. There's no objections from the neighbours, so I'm going to recommend approval on this. Can I have a second for that?
I'd second that, Mr. Chairman. It looks better. It looks an improvement to me.
Yeah. Any other comments at all? No, show of hands. Oh. Thank you. Okay, we get to tick off a load on our list now and turn the page as we go through these bits of town council ones. And our next one that we get to discuss is DM20 4502, which is in Worsted again. This is Russell Wood Lewis Road. This is proposed 2-storey extension to side elevation, proposed 2 to 3-storey extension to side rear elevation, and patio area to the rear. So this map is absolutely atrocious. This is the property here. This is the only map. And these are the drawings here. So this is the original house. And here is the proposed here. And here is the change to the front. I think, and a change to the side. And then an aerial view showing the new patio area. So, Councillor Belsey, would you like to have your time to shine, please, sir?
Thank you, Chairman. So firstly, thanks for showing those plans. I hope people see it's actually a really big plot. We're talking about the other side of the Lewis Road, on the way from East Grinstead to Forest Row, just away from Woodbury Avenue around the next bend. It sits quite alone, the house, and it's also dropped down. It's at low elevation, so you can't really even see it from the road, to be honest. It is a big extension. The ground really drops away, so it really suits actually making something of the rear elevations, and I can completely understand why they are proposing it. If I'm honest, if I was doing it, I would have probably put a bit more windows in the extension, but I don't have a reason. So it's not to my taste, but although it's not to my taste, I don't have a reason to object to it. As I said, I do think the house, the plot is very ripe for development of some kind, such as this. So, I will support approval, if that's okay, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that, please? Councillor Bell.
Could I also, please, Mr. Chairman,
Please do.
The one thing that I thought was quite amusing was that it said on the website that there was a photo, and when you looked at the photo, it was a copy of the actual Mid Sussex application.
Yeah, I don't know if people have noticed actually, but that's now standard. Sorry, Councillor Bell, to say that, but it is an important point. There is now, there should be
the only photo.
Every officer, when they go and visit, and it's a way you can tell whether an officer's been to visit the site or not, is there is a photo now on the portal of the sign.
Thank you very much.
Tell that an officer has visited. I would echo Councillor Bells's comments on this. I've got no problem with the size and scale. The rear elevations are fine. The patio. I think the front of the property is not great design. I'll be really, really honest, and I don't think we can really put that in there. But I think there's not enough windows, and there are too many windows off one side and not another. It is a lopsided looking building from the front. From the rear, it's quite well designed, but that architect from the front, yeah, I'm not a fan of personally. Councillor Roby.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, no, I just really want to echo that. In terms of design, it's appalling. I really don't understand how that can how an architect would actually draw that up. It seems like it's been drawn by an amateur, really, if I'm honest, and purely on that reason, I just can't. I know it's a plot that's big enough, but I just can't. I can't go with it.
Town Clerk, can we recommend approval, but comment that we think the design is?
Yeah, you
not
absolutely
good.
Can, Chair. You can say that that the committee would. I mean, you turn it around a little bit. Rather than would support approval, you say that the committee would not object to this application. However, would have liked to have seen better balanced design with regards to windows or whatever it is you want to say.
For the front elevation, yeah.
Yeah, you can say that, and you can reference EG3 and say that it's not a good example of design. Not enough to the point that you wish to reject it, but could have done better.
Yeah. Would you be happy with that wording, Councillor Belsey?
That would be very suitable, I would think, Chairman.
And
Okay.
DP26, please.
DP26, yeah. Councillor Scott.
Just but very quickly though, look at that that design and that shape. Where the last window going across from right to left is, I agree with you. I mean, there's got to be some more windows in there, or different type of windows, larger windows. That is a huge space with no light coming in.
Yes.
It's monstrous
Very
space. That's nearly half the house with no light coming in upstairs. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It could well be a photographer's studio.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that's a terrible idea to build any more of those. No more of those should ever be
The
built.
photographer didn't pick up on that, actually.
Yeah, I think if we can put a caveat there referring to the poor design, that would be good.
Seems unbalanced, doesn't it? That's the word I put in it. It's unbalanced.
Can we have a show of hands in support of that new wording, please? Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Belzy. We've got another couple of these granted ones on the agenda, which we will zip past as we land merrily back in town for DM20 4530. This is 9 Lucas Close, East Grinstead. This is proposed ground floor side extension, garage conversion, floor plan redesign, and all associated works. So this is 9 Lucas Close. We've had this a lot come before us recently, a couple of times, and it's the one that we noted earlier. This is the property here, tucked up in Lucas Close. I can't get a photo of it offline because there's a big bush in the way. It's just current property, infill of garage, new side extension, new rear alterations and extension. Councillor Woodgate, would you like to start us off?
Yes, Jess, thanks. We've already seen this one before, haven't we, if I remember rightly, and we went for approval last time, and my thoughts are still the same. It's good use of space. It's good for the family. I believe there's no comments for it, but adverse comments, so I'd like to push for approval again.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a second for that? Councillor Scott, thank you. Any other comments on this? No, show of hands in support then, please. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to Herentide for DM20 4542. This is 12 Coronation Road. This is a, good job you're sitting down, Councillor Osborne. This is a retrospective application for a single-storey side extension. So this is the property here in the Coronation Road, tucked in the corner. Here is the proposed, well, there isn't an existing because there is no longer an existing. So this is what it looks like with the extension on there. I think, yeah, that's the only plans we've got for this one. So, Councillor Odey, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I couldn't find anything on the portal about why they decided to build it in the first place without getting permission.
I would have thought it was probably they thought they could do unpermitted development and didn't fully understand the rules.
Right. Okay. Well, to be fair, I don't really have any objections to it. It's on a big plot and it's in the corner, and you know, I'm happy to approve.
Thank you. And a second for that, Councillor Woodgate. Any comments at all? The one thing I'll just to bolster that argument, if you look carefully at the plans, it says to replace conservatory. So there was clearly a conservatory there that has been knocked down in this room, shored up. So there was something there already. So yeah.
Using existing space.
Yeah. So you can have a show of hands in support, please. Thank you. Okay, we're rattling through. Well done. Can we go on to DM20 4554? This is 81 Milton Crescent. This is demolition of existing detached garage and conservatory with single-storey rear and side extension. For some reason there was no location plan for this one, but here is the existing property. And here's what they plan to do. This is Imberhorn, so Councillor Osborne, would you like to go, please?
Are there any objections to this?
I don't believe that. Oh, no objections, no.
Okay. Well, I would recommend approval if this is non-controversial. I don't see anything stopping it, to be honest with you.
No, I would second that. Any other comments at all?
No, I agree.
Can I show of hands in support, please? Thank you. Foray over to Ashplatz for DM 204565. I could try pronounce the name of this house, but I'm not really brave enough. But it's 63 Hackenden Lane. It is retrospective permission sought for the patio.
Yeah, body.
To preempt Councillor Osborne's question, it's probably because the new patio is above 30 centimetres in height off the ground. Who would like, Councillor de Bell, would you like to talk about this new patio?
Yeah, happy to. Lying badly. No, it's I was wondering why in the world they had to have retrospective planning permission for a patio. I know that Councillor Osborne and I share the thoughts that people apply for planning permission sometimes for things they don't really need. But the fact is that this is above ground, and I couldn't, when you look at the plan, understand why it's so high above ground. They're talking about having bifold doors out from a roof somehow or other. I really didn't get that at all. It is quite high if you look at the plans. However, there is talk of the need for disability access and everything else, and there are no objections from the neighbours or anything like that on the website, and so therefore I would suggest that we recommend it.
Thank you. Can I have a second for that, please? Mrs. Belzy. Councillor Osborne, your hand is raised, sir.
Yeah, did you say that this was at the amazing altitude of 18 inches?
It'll be above that, about 12 inches, yeah.
Well, I still think it's a rip-off. I think the mayor is dead right to draw attention to that. I don't think that Mid Sussex should be taking money under false pretenses.
I think there's a standard law that above certain heights things need to be applied for. That has to be put in stone somewhere. And I think if you look at the existing property, it had also it's like 3 steps up to the back doors, and they clearly wanted to make it a level entrance and exit now. So that's probably why it's so much higher than it looks on the plans. But again, I see really no issue with this at all. It's not affecting anyone by looking at it.
No, it's nothing against it at all.
So can I have a show of hands in support, please? Thank you. You all keep it on going, okay? You're not getting too tired in the middle here. We're almost through. Come on, guys. Keep the energy going. This is DM 204595. This is 54 Crossways Avenue. This is a double and single story side extensions. Replace existing rear flat roof with pitched roof. Erection of rear glazed covered area and internal alterations. So this is the current property. Here we can see where they want to take the extension up to on the building line there, which is up to the edge of the garage here. Here is the existing property. Here is the proposed extension. I think you can quite clearly see from those two where it's going. There are some floor plans there if you want to look at them in more detail. I think these probably best show it. Again, this is Inverhorn. So, Councillor Osborne, would you like to start us off on this one?
Well, looking at the previous plan you put up there, it looks like one hell of a big development compared with the surrounding properties. I would think that's bordering on an overdevelopment. Could you go back to the previous plan to see if I've interpreted it right?
Do you want to see the
see
plans here from above?
Yeah, in relation
Here's the neighbouring property here.
Yeah.
This is where their garage is existing.
Yeah. You showed another plan where it showed the relationship to the houses to the left and right as well. That's the one, yeah.
So this is a covered glass area,
yeah,
not solid building.
Oh, okay. And what about when you come up the side there? That's a solid building.
That's a solid building, yeah. So that is this bit here.
Yeah.
And at the rear, this is like a glass canopy. with the extension to the side here.
Were there any neighbour objections on this?
There aren't any, no.
Well, I suppose if they're prepared to put up with that. I don't think if that happened to me next door, I'd be over keen on that. But if there's no objections, then I would have thought probably that would get passed on the fact that previous extensions have come as close to the boundary as that one. So I would say probably don't like it, but I would recommend approval.
I'd second that. I think you can clearly see from the house to the left of it, there is an extension equally as close, and this one is angled slightly. I think it's fine. I think it's going to update this house, which is a little bit tired. I'd have been quite sympathetic to the rear with the glass canopy, single story, and there's no windows overlooking any of the neighbours. They managed to keep the roof lines in better order than this house has. So I've got no problem with it. So any other comments on that? No show of hands in support. Thank you.
I'm just going to put Councillor Osborne in the waiting room for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, now. Not a place now. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. Here we go. So this is DM 20 4098, land adjacent to Brockhurst Firs Lane. This is a variation of condition. We've seen this before. This is a very small change to this variation of condition. I don't know if you remember about the access road, and they've reduced the length of it and given basically updated details of the type of material that they're going to use, which is this sort of cell web grasscrete material that they lay, which I've got a picture of at the side. And it is this access road here that runs from the end of the development through into this woodland, so that tree surgeons and etc. can get into this area here to maintain it without having to go through people's gardens, no fences. So that's what this maintenance access road is for. As Councillor Osborne's not here and it's in Behorn, I've got to be honest, I think there's a lot of concern from neighbours about this particular strip, but there's been a lot of concern from neighbours about this development on the whole. I think that they're going out of their way to try and make this access road as invisible as possible by grassing over it, but still making a vehicle can drive over it. Some of the neighbours are saying it's too wide, it's 3 metres wide, but I guess if you want to get a truck down there with a big hopper on the back, it's got to be that sort of width. It can't be a little track, otherwise no one can get down there, then it's pointless. And I think there's actually some of the neighbours are saying that maybe it's going to link through to another development in the future. I don't think it's wide enough to really. Some of the neighbours are saying that it goes in the root protection area of the tree, but because of the way that this sort of stuff is sunk into the ground, it really is only a very shallow depth that it goes into the ground. It's just there to make it a bit firmer. I don't really see a problem with this. It's got to be there to protect the trees and help maintain the area around it. So I hear their concerns. I think they've reached a point now where it was wider, it's now narrower. It's about as narrow as it can go. It's a material that's really sympathetic. I'm going to support this. So I would recommend approval. Could I have a second for that? Councillor Odie. Any other comments on this? Councillor Mrs. Pelsi.
Is it an area that could be used for parking vehicles, or is it going to be some sort of stipulation it's only to be used for a certain use access? I just wondered if it, an area people might park extra cars or something down there.
They could do. I guess that the managing agents could maybe gate it off, but it is just going to be basically reinforced grass. So it's very similar to, I don't know if you know by King Centre, there's some grasscrete stuff for the fire engine. It's going to look like that. It's going to be grass growing through something. So I guess it is more hard standing. Something could park on it. That's really down to the managing agents where they let people park, but I don't think that's necessarily a planning issue. If I'm really honest.
A thought. Thank you.
Yeah. That would be down to them to locally probably maybe put posts at the end or something like that they could easily do to secure it.
Yeah.
But that would need planning permission.
Yeah.
A couple of pull-up posts, you know, that would stop any cars parking on it illegally. So can I have a show of hands in support, please?
Chairman, do you want that to be with support or are not in objection?
I would support it. I've got to be honest, I would support it. I don't see a problem with it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I won't say what I'm going to say.
That's fine.
I think hopefully this will be the last time that we see this application come before us.
I'm going to readmit Councillor Osborne. There we go.
If we must.
We must.
Oh. Is he back though? No, he's still having some fresh air.
Over a fag.
Yeah.
I was being more polite down there. Oh, he's back.
There you are.
Yeah, nobody came to fetch me.
That's the downside of a virtual meeting, eh? Right, so DM20 4198 is 97 London Road. This is a single-storey rear extension for use as a storeroom. So this is it on London Road. And this is the existing, and this is the new storeroom sort of built onto the edge. You can see attacked onto the end here. So this is town. So Councillor Scott, would you like to go on this one? Well,
it's an optician's. They obviously require this storeroom. I can't see how any way we can say you can't have one. It's at the back. It's not massive. It's not really. It isn't that big, and I would totally pass this. I can't see any reason to refuse it.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a second? Okay. Any other comments on this one? Have a show of hands in support. Okay. DM20 4231 back to Ash Platts for 28 Copse Close. We've seen this before. This is a 3-storey side extension and single-storey rear extension. Loft conversion with rear dormer to create second floor. Demolition of existing attached garage and 2 structures. Replacement detached garage to rear with access on the rear of the property. These are amended plans that were received on the 17th of December. To add hipped roof line on the side of the extension. Revised window details, altered ground floor room layout, reduced rear extension and amended dormer design. And the main differences since we saw it, the dormer change, the roof change and the extension reduction. Here's the rear of it. Here's the garage. And you can see the access from the back into the garage. Whereas the garage was at the front before, but there's clearly access from behind. Councillor Mrs. Belsey, would you like to?
Thank you, Chairman. When it last came up, I did object to it. I know there was a mixed feeling amongst the committee, but the objection went through. I've looked in detail at the plans, and I think the revisions they make, I'm very happy with, and I would propose acceptance of the revised plan before us.
Thank you. Could I have a second for that?
Oh, well.
Councillor de Bell. Any further comments on that at all? Councillor de Bell.
I think it is quite a cheeky overdevelopment, actually. I think we said that last time, and I think that Councillor Mrs. Belsey and I feel exactly the same way about it. At least they've made some changes to the original sort of carbon for activity. So I think on that basis, yes, I would support Councillor Mrs. Belsey and her proposal.
Thank you. Councillor Odey, did you have your hand up, did you, sir?
Yes, I did, Chair. Thank you. Can I just confirm with the image, image on the right, where it's in red, can you just zoom in on that for me?
Of course.
So what are they proposing then on the front there? Is that a brick wall? Sorry, a straight.
No, that
Doesn't
that
look like it's
sticks
roof.
out. It angles. I can't really find the right plan on here. They don't show it from that side. It angles up.
So exactly like the rear.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't actually show that on the design, does it? The roof line, the guttering roof line is.
Roof line up here, yeah.
I can't see how that can get. If that's the way that they've designed it, I can't agree with the approval. I'm afraid. I think that's a terrible design.
It's a weird design.
Weird is not the word for it.
Chairman, have you got the original plan?
I haven't got the one we saw last time, no.
Right, because the last time Councillor Odie accepted it, and we argued against it. And they have actually altered the roof line at the suggestion that was made.
Okay. So we have a proposal to. Oh, Councillor Scott, did you want to come in?
Yeah, just very quickly. Look at that picture there. Making an extension is one thing, and you know they bring that before us, and we either support it or don't support it. And a lot of the times we do support it, but it should be in keeping with the rest of the house. It looks totally different. The house looks a peculiar shape now. I mean, they should have kept that roof line in line with the existing roof itself. And irrespective of why they want that extra height there, I just think it looks absolutely ugly. And in Copse Close, which I know the house is very well up there, it's going to look out of place. I don't think that's in keeping with all the other houses. That's my opinion.
Okay. Councillor Woodgate.
Thank you, Chair. The reason the roof line is shorter there is because the front it steps back, so they can't keep the roof line level with the front. So that red section is stepped back halfway back through the house. So there's no way they can run the front roof line forward because of the way it goes around the building. So they have to put that small section of roofing there, because that's all that there is of the building to put that roof onto. Otherwise, they could go all the way across the front with the roof, but then the building section is halfway back down the side of the house. So the roof has to be like that to allow it to work. If you look at the plan view, you can see how far back the actual section of the house is. There's no clever way of doing that roof line, other than the way they've done it.
Just trying to see if I can find another plan on here that shows that roof line better.
If you look at the plan view, Chair, you can see how the red section wraps around the house, and only comes halfway, just over halfway around the side of the house. There's no way the roof line can follow the front section of the house because there's nothing built there.
Okay.
So the only way to build it is how they've done it.
Can we have
It's frozen
again, Chair.
That's
You
how
still
I
hear me?
always remember him.
Oh, back. Now you're back.
Okay, sorry. Can we have a show of hands in support, please?
That's carried, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Let's go to DM20 4629. This is. Sorry, no, I'm not going there at all. We're going to go to 4588. Sorry?
We're going to 4588.
We are, yes. I missed one. This is 59 Heathcote Drive. This is change of shop front with repositioned windows and door and rolling shutter. So this is the shop. And if I zoom in on this, it's moving the door with a new shutter. And basically just changing the side that the door is currently opening on. This is Imberhorn. Councillor Osborne, we'd like to have a...
Yeah, it's a post office. It's a one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pokey little shop. It's a very small shop. I don't see that any objection to the application, and it's not going to make vast difference. They might give them a little bit more space there. I don't know, but pretty innocuous, really. I would recommend approval.
I would second it. Any other comments at all? I can't see. I don't know if...
No, nothing.
No. Can I have a show of hands then, please? Sorry, we've got another council member has just joined. I don't know where he's going now, but right, okay. Oh, he's left now. He's done his bit. He's off. Okay, so can we go to DM20 4629? This is 22 Crossways Avenue. This is demolition of existing detached garage, 2-storey side and front extension and single-storey rear extension. Conversion of loft space with rear-facing dormer to create second floor new front porch. So this is the property here on Crossways Avenue. This actually shows the new extension around it. And this shows the existing and the proposed. Again, this is Imberhorn. So, Councillor Osborne, would you like to go with this one?
Could you go back? The first one we saw was a plan view from about 50,000 feet, so it's a bit difficult to judge it on that. Can you home in a bit closer? That's it. Can you get closer still? And a bit more.
That's as close as I can get.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, it's even got cars in front of it, this one. That's a big development, isn't it? Is it a semi-detached house?
It is.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's not very far beyond the attached house, is he? So I don't think that's going to be an issue for a neighbour. I suppose it's okay. I don't see too much wrong with that. So I would recommend approval.
Okay. I'll second that. There aren't any objections, I don't think, on this one.
No, Chair.
There are no objections to this one. So I'm going to second that. Councillor Scott, let's say something.
Yeah, just very quickly. Whenever I see the wording conversion of loft space, I really put my work head on, and I just wondered, have they gone into looking at any fire access? Because
that would all come under building regs rather than planning.
Would it? So that's all looked at and passed, accepted, yeah?
It would have to be for it to be built safely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, can I have a show of hands in support, please?
That's passed, Chair.
Thank you. We're going to hang around in Imberhorn a little bit longer for DM20 4632, Gatsby House, 19 Meadowcroft Close. This is 2-storey rear extension and dormer over existing garage. And this is the property here. Now, I think, Town Clerk, that there's a problem with these plans in that they are labelled online.
Frozen again, Chair.
I think I know what he means. There's no change between the two.
No, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, looks to be, don't they?
Two drawings.
There's no existing
Waiting for the chair
proposal.
to come back to us. I find it staggering that this goes through quite an extensive validation process at the district council, and we spent 2.5 weeks trying to get our applications submitted and validated for the monoliths and the signs, which obviously we're not discussing tonight. And time and time again, your plan isn't to the right scale, you have to include this, you have to include that. And then time and time again, we come into planning committee and I see examples like this and it just doesn't make any sense.
Completely.
Yeah. I lost you for a bit there.
I was just kidding.
I thought it was a game of spot the difference. How many differences can you see?
The ball.
Nice one, Tone.
I think he's gone again.
Skip the Maloo.
Oh, wiggle your wire, Fraser.
Don't ask him to do that, for goodness sake.
Oh dear, no, look like
Well, I'm back. I can hear you. I can hear you.
he's back. He's back.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Good. Okay, fine. So yes. So I don't think we can vote on this, can we, Town Clerk?
I think you can send it back and justifiably so.
Okay, that's fine. Can we vote to do that, or do I need to just start?
Well, without seeing the proposal, we don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah. So yeah.
Simple
We'll
as
wait
that.
for valid plans.
Yeah, send it back.
Send it back.
Yeah, we'll require it to be re-advertised in order to come back to us or whatever they're going to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let's get the next ones done before I. There is actually an aerial view that shows the extension, but without seeing the proper plans, I don't think we can make a decision.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to DM 20
That'll help.
56. This is 67 Fulmer Drive. This is first floor extension and alterations to existing conservatory roof. Hopefully you can all see it still.
The size of a matchbox.
So here are the plans that they want to change. This is the existing elevations. And here are the proposed elevations. So this is in Ashplatz. So Councillor Mrs. Belsey, could you go please?
Yes, I have no problem. I would suggest acceptance.
Could I have a second for that, please?
All right, I'll do it.
You have a second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions at all, committee? I can't see, so Town Clerk, could you?
Town Mayor, Councillor Bell.
My only concern was that it does look like massive overdevelopment, but I totally agree that it's best use of space. The only thing I would say is that I couldn't see any objections from any neighbours or anything like that. There's no objections on the portal as early as late as 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. Have we had anything on that, Town Clerk?
The only objections we've had on this were from the society, who did recommend refusal as the size of the proposed extension is unneighbourly.
In which case,
But nothing from any neighbours.
in which case, I would totally support Councillor Mrs. Belsey and vote for approval.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a show of hands in support, please? I can't see anything.
Sorry, everyone's in agreement.
Okay.
Pretty much. I don't think I saw any abstentions there.
I'm really sorry about this, guys. I've only got 2 to go. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but
You're doing fine, Chairman. You're doing fine.
okay. We'll go on to DM 20 4664. This is 47 Buckhurst Way. This is single story rear extension. So here is the property. Here you can see where it's going to, the rear extension would sit. And here are the proposed and existing, both the same set of drawings actually, showing both of them on here. So this is Baldwin's. So we haven't got anyone from Baldwin's here, so I'll run with it. It's tiny, it's at the back of the property. I've got no problem with this really. So I'm going to recommend acceptance. Can I have a second for that, please?
You have one.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I agree.
Okay. Can I have a show of hands in support, please?
Sorry, Councillor Isabelsi, were you supporting or did you speak?
I just wanted to see the difference in the two sets of drawings.
There aren't any. I've made a mistake, and I got dropped out. I've put the same set of drawings up. It shows it was flat flush at the back, and this is the new extension at the back. These are the same set of drawings. I made a mistake, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
There were quite a few drawings to go through for this meeting.
Yes, it wasn't a criticism.
So if you're happy with that, can I have a show of hands in support?
That's carried.
Thank you. Okay, DM 20 4669 is a questionnaire, Cranston Road. This is to make front garden and driveway a drop with a dropped curb. So this is the property here. I think this quite clearly shows I want to convert the front garden into a drive and drop this curb here. Councillor Woodgate, could you start me off on this, please?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm in two minds about this one, because although I appreciate the household want to get cars off the road, off of road side, you know, the parking on the road. This is right near the bend by the traffic lights, the pedestrian crossing, and cars do whip round that bend, and I'm concerned that it could be an accident by somebody trying to pull out the drive or pull into the drive and not spotting somebody come round the corner. So I'm going to put my hands up and say I think we should refuse this one, just because I think it's too dangerous based on the information I have in front of me at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a second for that, please?
You have one.
Thank you. Any other comments on this at all?
Councillor Scott, Councillor Odie.
The only comment I got is that you can see the house next door has a car in the driveway or on the property, but I do agree with if it's so close to a bend, then yes, it's going to be a little bit dangerous to achieve a level of safety by doing that. But next door has got one, so I assume that's the reason why they feel they can as well. But I do agree with the safety aspect.
I did look at the house next door, and I have obviously been up and down that road many times, but they are a whole house width and a bit more further down the road.
Yeah.
You have a bit more time to react, whereas at the moment, with the picture I have in front of me of a red line between two posts, I don't know where the drive's going to be going in or out, and I just think it raises too many concerns for safety, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Well, Councillor Odie, then Councillor Isabelsi, and then the Town Mayor.
Okay, Councillor Odie, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Can I just ask where their existing car parking arrangements is? Is it down that side road?
That's the footpath down to Mount Noddy.
Oh, okay. So where do they park their car at the moment?
Well, I can only guess they park in either the Moat Road opposite or in the parking bays at the end of King Centre, maybe.
Councillor Odie, I would assume that being that these are quite recent pictures and there is a sold sign in these pictures, I imagine they might have just bought the house. As a house looks like it needs doing up. I imagine it's probably some new owners who want to park their car up there.
I think that taking a car off I know it's dangerous. If they can mitigate, if that can be mitigated somehow, then it can only be a good thing for them to be able to park on their drive or near the house.
Thank you. Councillor DeBell.
Yeah, thank you. I totally understand the motion for the danger, and obviously Jason's had a good look at this. My only comment would be that if you look at the size of that tree in the front garden, and then you look at the actual garden itself on the picture, it looks as though there's plenty of room behind that to actually get something off the road and park in a similar fashion to the one next door. It's just a comment. I will go with what we decided as a committee, and I fully understand what Jason's saying about safety. We must be very aware and careful about safety. But if they drop the curb there and they took over the part where the pathway is, there would be ample room to sort of kind of get in very quickly, reversing or whatever. It is just a general comment.
You could definitely get cars off the road. That's by, right off the road. It's just pulling in and out is my concern. If you're trying to pull out and somebody comes whipping around that corner, it's going to cause accidents.
Okay.
Councillor Mrs. Belsley.
Yes, I'm just wondering, is it a highways issue? Could we get it subject to highways agreeing to a suitable opening for onto the road? Is it something that we have the authority to be able to ask that they obtain highway approval for a suitable exit entrance there?
Chair, can I just come in on that? Because it's a drop curve, excuse me, because it's a drop curve, there will have to be an application to West Sussex County Council too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to refuse on safety grounds. Unless anyone else has got any comments, can I have a show of hands to refuse this application on the grounds of safely being able to pull in? I can't see anything now, all the cameras have gone. So Town Clerk, if you could.
You've got 4 hands up for refusal. So who is not in support of refusal, please?
Me.
Just 2 hands. So it's refused.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn the screen sharing off. Thank you very much, committee. I'm sorry that I lost you all there at the end. I don't know what's going on down here. Rurally Grinstead. Thank you very much for a really, really good meeting and getting through those all quickly and so professionally. Well done. I will remind you that the next meeting is on the 27th of January, and I would like to close the meeting at 8:23.